Charleston News, first at 4, continues.
Protesters made a path along the streets of Prestonsburg today for a demonstration to demand answers. The protesters chanted "Justice for Amber" through the Star City in honor of Amber Spradlin, who was killed in the Martin community Sunday. Her friends, loved ones, and community members say she loved the town and its people, but they believe her trusting spirit contributed to her death. So they want her story shared as they wait for answers, warning the community that her murderer is among them.
I just hope that it raises awareness, to not trust everybody that you're around and just be more cautious.
We'll have more from the protest and what those involved hope it will accomplish coming up at 6. The Colson Civic Center in Letcher County is hosting its first indoor event since the July flood. 2 church groups from northern Kentucky are in town helping to clean the center, as well as put on Vacation Bible School. Owner of the Civic Center, Shirley Sexton, says after the flood, the building was left with 6 feet of water and 10 inches of mud.
Because this center needs to be the hub of this community. This community needs a place for public gatherings, and so we're doing our best to get Shirley back up and running after a devastating flood.
This is the 3rd group that they have brought in from northern Kentucky this month. She has groups planned out until late September.
We are still watching out for showers and storms across the mountains by this afternoon. Some of the rain also a little bit heavy in some places. Here's a look at First Alert Pinpoint Doppler. Heavier showers now over our western counties, mainly along and west of Highway 15. Zooming in now to portions of Estill and Powell County. Heads up Irvin. A heavier shower and thunderstorm not too far away as this continues pushing off towards the west. Also watching out for a shower now on I-75 in Rockcastle County near Mount Vernon. So if you're traveling on the interstate from London up to Mount Vernon, be sure that you take your time because some heavy rainfall is going to be possible. Also watching out now for a heavier shower just to the south of downtown Hyden on Highway 421 on southern Leslie County. So some heavier showers are going to be possible as we go through this evening. A live look from Laurel County at the London Corbin Airport. That current temperature is 71 degrees. We are muggy, we are mild, and we are gloomy out there this afternoon. Those temperatures, they stay muggy into this evening as well. We fall into the middle to upper 60s as you wake up on Wednesday. And Steve, you can guess it, more showers are likely on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. All those details coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, Cameron, thank you. In Alabama, it's not just wind from strong storms that's causing problems, it's also flooding. Darwin Singleton shows us how rescue crews are using drones to help in their missions.
You're looking at drone video captured by the Mobile Fire Rescue Department. 2 people and their pets stranded on their front porch. The waters of Foul River surrounding the property cutting off any escape. A Mobile Fire Rescue crew arrived to help, and as they launched a boat to work their way to the house, this drone and its operator began surveying the scene from above. And as we watch, it was obvious. As the minutes ticked by, that water was rising. Streets that weaved their way through the Southern Oaks were becoming rivers, and now that water was making its way into the home. After a failed attempt at launching from Bellingrath, rescuers managed to get the boat in from the Foul River side. They motored down Bellingrath, looking for an opening between the trees to enter the property. Finally, they puttered through the brown water until they reached the front porch. By then, the water was so high, the boat was only one delicate step away from the stranded pair. Life jackets were given to each so they could board safely, but as for the animals on the porch, they'd have to make another trip back for them. But we would soon learn there would have to be yet another trip. It was moments later the department received word there could be another victim stranded in the water, but this time in a car. It only took seconds for the drone operator to spot a dark sedan, its hood nearly submerged in the murky waters. As the drone camera pushed in on the windshield, he saw what appeared to be a woman inside. The boat crew, still focused on their original mission, responded. They'd put their 2 passengers on dry land and would return to rescue whoever might be in that flooded vehicle.
That was Darwin Singleton reporting. If that voice sounds familiar, Darwin was a reporter here at WYMT in the 1980s. He's been in Mobile for many years. The severe weather in that area is expected to continue today, but ease up by midweek. This time of year, Houston, Texas is known for its sweltering heat. Right now, that city is under an excessive heat warning. Zach Tawatari explores what people who live there are doing to combat the heat.
With the city baking in an excessive heat warning, most Houstonians are opting to stay indoors.
I probably would have stayed home in bed.
But there's another place you can go.
Pretty much wherever you live, there's going to be a Y.
Greater Houston YMCA's opening their doors, lanes, and buckets to the public.
So this weekend, we're a designated cooling center, which means that anyone in the city can walk into any YMCA and open a guest pass account.
Trotter Family YMCA Healthy Living Director Monica Ward says guest passes give you access to everything a full member can use.
Also, you can come in and you can use the showers. You can come work out. A mom can check her kids into Child Watch and just have like a moment of peace in the cool.
Guest passes are typically good for about 3 visits, but under this excessive heat warning.
And if they run out of those 3 visits and we're still a designated cooling center, we'll let them come in and sign up for another one.
Jose Cortez and his family enjoyed a very hot Father's Day poolside.
It was like super hot, so we decided to come to the pool and to chill a little bit. Yeah, it refreshed us.
While Kelly Glazer and Jeremiah Sauls shot some hoops while staying comfortable.
Playing basketball and swimming.
You can spend all day doing different kinds of sports that he doesn't usually always get to do, so it's awesome.
In neighboring Louisiana, officials say demand for ice is surging right now during the heat wave there. And in Ohio, agents are investigating after they found 146 dogs dead inside a home near Akron. Portage County officials say the homeowner is also the co-founder of an animal rescue organization. Now, warning, some viewers may find this story disturbing. Catherine Ross reports.
Piper's early life is something of a mystery.
That's a good girl.
Mary Ellen adopted her from Canine Lifeline Incorporated, an organization run by her Manaway neighbor.
I would like the border collie after all, and she's like, okay, well, come on out to Macedonia. And my friend was like, why do we have to go to Macedonia? She's just across the streets.
Mary Ellen, who asked we not share her last name, tells us her neighbor's property had become overgrown and neglected in recent years, but she had no idea the extent of that neglect.
I feel like that she was passionate about what she was doing and she got in way over her head.
Law enforcement executed a search warrant at the property Friday. The Portage Animal Protective League says a humane agent found 146 dead dogs in various stages of decay. No dogs were found alive. APL confirms the homeowner is a co-founding operator of Canine Lifeline.
I got the news story today that it was 146. It was gut-wrenching.
According to a post on the organization's social media, the co-founder is also the subject of an animal neglect investigation in Parma. They said the discovery of more dead and neglected dogs there led them to this property in Portage County.
From here, blocking all the way down the street.
Janice Robinson was at her Parma home several weeks ago when her neighbor was taken away by ambulance. She says police and animal control spent more than 6 hours at the property.
Then you see them bringing out all these cages with dogs in it, and then bringing out the animals that didn't make it. It was sad.
Public records show the same person owns both the Parma and Mantaway properties. In an online statement, Canine Lifeline says no volunteers were aware of their co-founder's medical conditions, the number of dogs she had, or the condition of her homes. It says in part, quote, like the general public, volunteers of the nonprofit animal rescue organization Canine Lifeline have been shocked, horrified, and confused to learn of the devastating revelations. The organization says it's cooperating with the investigations. Meanwhile, neighbors wonder why there wasn't more accountability.
There should be some legislation in place that any kind of rescue has, you know, someone come in and do an inspection.
The APL says the case is still under investigation and the deceased animals will undergo necropsies to determine their cause of death. In Manaway, Catherine Ross, News 5.
More than 100 horses were rescued from poor living conditions in Virginia. Authorities in Mount Jackson say they responded to a complaint last Thursday. Deputies say they found a number of severely malnourished horses, some with visible hip bones and ribs. Officials also say there was insufficient amounts of food. Dozens of horses are now on the road to recovery at a rescue farm in the town of Afton. Other rescue organizations and volunteers have also stepped up to help as well. No word if the original owners are facing charges related to the situation. In Rome, there's a new way to see a very ancient attraction. Visitors can now take a stroll through a sacred site that is thousands of years old. Riley Carlson reports.
This brand new walkway takes visitors into Rome's Largo Argentina for the very first time. The ancient square was the site of 4 temples and believed to be the spot where Julius Caesar was stabbed to death. These walkways allow us to discover a new glimpse of Rome from below in one of the oldest areas of the city, says Rome's Counselor of Culture. Previous viewing of the sunken site could only be done at street level. Now tourists can get close to the frescoes, statues, and artifacts in 2 exhibition areas. Some of the stones on the site are nearly 2,000 years old. There's a great deal of historical relevance and a lot to understand about ancient architecture and the life of ancient Romans, says the city's superintendent of cultural heritage. Another piece of history now accessible in the Eternal City. Riley Carlson, CBS News, London.
Construction of the walkway took 2 years to complete and was funded by the Italian luxury fashion house Bulgari. Coming up as